Hugh Douglas, Joe Giglio, Kyle Quinn behind the glass. You guys with us, 215-592-9494 on a date event here in Philadelphia, because this is not just one game. It's two games in a row, and the latest one, Hugh Douglas, was ugly. I mean, the Eagles got outclassed in every way last night. Their players didn't play well enough. Their coaches obviously didn't coach well enough, and they look like they're in a malaise here. Good morning, Hugh, after a difficult Eagles game last night.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. It's not really a good morning.
Good morning, Philly.
We could say it, but it's not a good morning.
No, not really, man. I feel punch drunk. You know, from watching that game last night and watching how it played out, especially after the San Fran game. You know, and I'm curious because I wanna see what the pulse of the city is. I think I know. But I'm not sure, because last night, you know, on my Twitter, I don't know why I went to Twitter, but I did. Just listening to some of the excuses that people were giving. Well, it was a schedule loss. Well, you know, we knew during this stretch that we could potentially drop two games, which is the truth. I mean, you know, we talked about this. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. But my thing is this. Did anybody envision us dropping two games the way that we dropped them? Let's just be real here. Did you envision two back-to-back ass whippings the way that we took them?
So here's why the answer is clearly no. Because, one, we talk to everyone every day, and no one envisioned this, Hugh. And the second thing is, in the history of the NFL, do you know how many times a 10-1 team has dropped multiple games after going 10-1 by 20 or more points? 0! This has never happened before.
Wow.
Ever. We're a team that's supposed to be this good, or was this good, right? Record-wise, 10-1, got smacked twice like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good feeling. And listen, I understand that everything is still ahead of us. No question about that. But if you're an Eagles fan, you can't feel good about what you've seen the last 2 weeks. I am shooketh. I'm shooketh, Joe. I am really a shooketh. Because I can't recall any time that I've ever seen the Eagles look like this. Now, it's one thing to lose, and, you know, things happen when you lose games like this. But they looked disinterested. Like back-to-back ass whoopings, you don't look like the Eagles teams that – you don't look like a team that is destined to go to the Super Bowl on both sides of the ball. Now we're going to sit here and we're going to break this down. To me, I know a lot of people are going to blame the defense. The defense has been what the defense has been all year long. And I give Coach Desai a shout-out because he has piecemealed this secondary together and this defense and has been able to do some pretty impressive things over the last couple of weeks. It's caught up with us. This offense has scored 12 points in the last two games in the first half.
They didn't have a touchdown yesterday on offense for the first time since before the pandemic. I mean, think about how long ago that was. Carson Wentz was the quarterback. It was Doug Peterson was the coach. Holy hell. So, Hugh, you're on the offense and the players? You're on the players today?
Yeah, man, because you have to execute. It's a lot. I'm still – I'm probably like everybody else. I'm still trying to process what I saw last night in this game because it was so one-sided. And only thing I could think of is, you know, and I'm a truth teller. Dallas Cowboys look good, man. That hurts me to say that.
They look better than the Eagles. I mean,
they look good.
They do. They look better.
Can we move on from that?
Yeah, we can.
I know they call. I know they coming. They come.
Oh, the Cowboy fans. We got to deal with that today, too.
Here's the thing about Cowboy fans, though, Joe, that I didn't know. I didn't know I had so many friends that were Cowboy fans.
Well, I wouldn't call them friends then.
People
that's know.
No, see, that's the kicker. These are people that I've interacted with on a personal level for many, many years. And to see the post that some of my friends in Atlanta that had up, the Dallas, and I'm like, seriously?
Yeah, they've been hiding it.
They've been hiding. But it tells you. But here's the thing. That tells you all you need to know about Dallas fans. Their team has been so bad for so long. Yeah, I'm taking shots, even though we just took an L. Their team has been bad for so long, they don't even like people to know that they're Dallas fans until something good happens.
It is unbelievable. It is. All right, 215-592-9494. All right, I know you're frustrated, too, with the players today, and we'll get into a lot of the players that didn't play well enough in this game over the course of the show. My ire to start this show is on the coaching staff, and it starts at the top. The Eagles are not a well-coached football team right now, and it starts with Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni, in the last few years, has created this thing where people think he is a great football coach, and I don't believe he is. I really never believed it, and I don't think he has any answers to the problems right now. This is his offense. He likes to remind us of that. He and Brian Johnson put it together. It stinks right now. It is an over-reliance on talent. There is not a scheme here. The RPO scheme they had last year with Shane Steichen, it's gone. Shane Steichen is scoring points with the Indianapolis Colts with smoke and mirrors because he knows what he's doing calling plays. Nick Sirianni doesn't. Guess what? This is where it really hits you when I'm going to say it like this. The better coach last night by a lot was Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy's offense is more creative than Nick Sirianni's offense. It's not even close. I don't think this guy has the answers to the test right now, and it feels like it's getting away from him. In the NFL, you can get through a year or two with some good players, but eventually, Hugh, the league catches up, and if they sense a weakness or they find something the way Nick Bosa said they found something last week, you better adjust back. I mean, I'm not trying to say he's like this guy because I think he's better than this, but Chip Kelly's offense scored a lot of points for 2 years, and the league caught up, and then bam, it was over.
Yeah.
Like, Nick Sirianni better wake up, and he better adjust. Otherwise, this idea that he's a great coach is going to be laughable in a year. I'm very disappointed with the coaches.
Evolve or die.
Yes.
That's the thing. You have to evolve or die. And to me, one of the things that stuck out was the fact that we were still lightweight vanilla offensively. We didn't do anything to confuse the Dallas Cowboys. We just lined up and played football. Now, I know we talked to people last week, and we talked about how, with this offensive firepower, you don't have to do that all the time and everything like that. But listen, I think you should. I think there needs to be some level of creativity in this game, especially with this offense, because the way that we're doing it right now is not getting it done. We can sit here and we can blame the defense all we want. This defense has been the same since the beginning of the year. And I go back to the fact that there were some questions of whether or not Darius Slay was going to be here. So there were issues in the secondary that they wanted to address that they didn't get a chance to address, so they just went with it. We played with a strong defensive line play. That has been our bread and butter. We play with a lead. When we don't have a lead, this is what you have. We've been out physical the last 2 weeks. That's alarming. That is alarming. And you like I said, you can sit here and you can blame the defense all you want. You can talk about firing Coach Desai and all this other stuff. He's not the problem. As a matter of fact, to me, he's the best out of the two coordinators right now because he's put something together out of nothing, especially when you talk about all the injuries and the people and the lack of personnel that he has in the secondary.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's fair. The numbers aren't great, but there's obviously circumstantial stuff there. 215-592-9494. A lot to react to today. Eagles get smacked around down in Dallas. They are no longer, as we speak, in first place. They're the 5th seed right now in the NFC. And you can throw all your tiebreakers at me, but guess what? The idea that this team, the way they're playing right now, is just going to just reel off 4 wins in a row against whoever, I think is a very faulty assumption. This team has major issues. It starts, for me, with the coach. I don't think this guy's doing a very good job right now, and I think he got completely outclassed by Shanahan and McCarthy in back-to-back weeks. 215-592-9494. We'll come back. We'll hit your phone calls. Something D. Gunn shared coming out of the locker room last night. We got to let you listen to this or hear this quote because it is alarming. It's alarming towards the coaching staff. Guys, they have been outscored in the first half, the last 6 games, 106-50. The coach doesn't have them ready to play. 215-592-9494. It's how you hop board. Midday show. Your call's next on Sports Radio 94 WIP.